Hello and welcome to Five Things Friday. It's the summer. It's the summer edition. I should give myself some slack. We're in the last throes of the summer holiday with my fantastic co-host Simone Oloman from NIFT for Tonight and Dave. Simone, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm very happy as I woke up this morning and it was very gloomy, and now it's very sunny. Finally, we've got
Fantastic.
sunshine in London.
It's ice cream weather.
It's ice cream with Magnum weather.
And as you've done your spin class already, you know.
I have. I've done my spin class, so I'm feeling pumped. I'm ready to go.
Fantastic. Well, listen, let me start because I think there's two sides of retail right now, and we don't want to sort of ignore what's going on. And so for all of the eagle-eyed, is it eagle-eyed? What's the saying? It is eagle-eyed, right?
That's so dope. Yeah.
Whatever eagle-eyed or I don't know. Anyway, eagle-eyed retail followers out there. We know that there's been a whole string of insolvency happening in the UK. So I don't want to negate that. But why? But there are, 4,000 jobs at River Island, 2,000 and a bit jobs at Claire's, and Hobbycraft has just closed some stores. And as much as there's like upbeat, loads of new things happening, and hopefully, the people that are transitioning from River Island or Claire's will be able to move into new jobs. I think there's a lot of uncertainty, and I don't want to ignore that. I think I've been in that position when I remember they closed the thing that I was working in, and I had to go, and there was all that. What am I going to do? How am I going to pay rent? Blah blah blah. So I don't want to miss that. So just a quick update on that. Claire's has filed a notice intention to specifically appoint administrators, basically admitting things have gone wrong. Administrators are coming in. The jobs, as I mentioned, 2,150 jobs are at risk. 306 stores potentially going to be shut. But again, that's down to and I don't know who the administrators are that come in. River Island has secured High Court approval earlier this week for restructuring, which in principle saves the 4,000 jobs that I just mentioned. But it's like a cloud that, was hanging over those folks' heads. But it's still going to close 33 stores and look to cut rents wherever it can. And, and as I said, Hobbycraft closing 9 stores. So I think retail, and hence why I think it's so important, shows like ours that provide commentary on what's going on, provide both elements, because now we'll go into the sort of fun element of what's going on. And I guess with that, so why don't you tell us what's top of mind for you this week?
Yeah, I wanted to speak more about store openings this week, as last week it was a bit doom and gloom, and I was speaking about all of the store closures. There's been a lot of buzz. Last week there was Space NK, which everybody was talking about. They opened up their new flagship on Oxford Street, and I have to say I haven't managed to get down yet. I've had a lot of FOMO looking on Instagram, and I will be going down at some point, so hold me to that. But yeah, looking at the pictures, it's honestly, it's a bit like, I'm going to say Willy Wonka meets high-end playground. They had, what was it? They had like gumball dispensers. They had like viral drops suspending from the ceiling. A play space for product discovery.
I saw my video.
I think you can even, it was these quizzes as well, where you can find your lip or scent vibe. It's very cool. Look at it. And look, it looks like a beauty festival, not a store, which I'm a huge fan of. I think they've really nailed making the store a destination, something to experience rather than just shop. And look at that. Yeah. And what I also liked as well is, obviously this is, they clearly want to appeal to the under 25s, which I assume at their fastest growing audience. They're really invited and curious and I guess a bit playful, but they're not ignoring the older shoppers as well. And they have these expertise pods for customers who want educating, who want depth. So yeah, I just thought it was, stand out to me. Really loved it.
It had just been acquired, and I should know this because I spoke about it on my US show, but I can't remember. But Space NK have gone into, they have been acquired. I have to Google who they've been acquired by, but they've been acquired. So this is interesting. To see that that they're taking this thing, but it looks super fun.
Yeah.
But ultimately, this is the other thing. Are we going to see Superdrug and Boots now in trouble? I mean, Boots is an institution, right? Because people go there for all of their healthcare,
Yeah.
pharmacy, but in beauty specifically, beauty is such a fun thing. Sephora has done such a great job. Are we going to see more change in the physical side of beauty? They're throwing the gauntlet down.
Yeah, really, really intriguing to see. But yeah, I mean, to me, they've nailed it, and I'll definitely be heading down. It's just so much fun, really is. Just a really, really great balance.
And just to shout out to Chantelle Pang, who is the UGC creator for this.
Amazing.
I'm not going to take credit for her work. Please go to her page on TikTok, watch her. She does like a weekly what's going on in London anyway, and this was where she. So, okay, moving on swiftly, we've got Currys and Quorso.
Currys, the UK's largest omni-channel tech retailer, announced in a major step in its AI strategy, partnering with retail operations platform Quorso, that they rolled out Action AI, a tool designed to turn the flood of stored data into clear, high-value action. And here's how it works. Action AI pulls sales footfall, promotions, survey, and customer satisfaction data into one dashboard. It then runs millions of calculations across the store network, flags the biggest opportunities, and shows managers exactly where to act, whether that's fixing an underperforming category, replicating what's working in top performing stores. It explains the root cause, suggests the next steps, and tracks the impact in real time, so every action is measurable. For Currys, the potential outcomes are significant: faster decision making, consistent best practice sharing, sharper commercial performance, less time on admin, and more time helping customers. The tool has already been rolled out to 16 stores with a full UK rollout in September, making one of the most practical and impactful uses of AI in British retail this year. So that's Quorso. Back over to you, Simone.
Another fabulous store opening, we use the word fabulous, I have mine this week, is Bershka's new store. It's in Manchester, their new flagship. It's very, very cool. Standout thing for me was the AR mirrors, which I will come to. I think it's their largest store that they've opened in the UK. It's in the Trafford Centre, and not quite the beauty festival we were just on about, but instead it feels like a big tech playground. I think they have 3 zones, all of these distinct entrances, sculptural checkouts. The biggie for me is the AR mirrors. So customers can virtually try on outfits via Snapchat filters, scan a QR code, then use Bershka's app, and then share their looks share their looks instantly. Which, to me, if you're wanting to attract Gen Z, which they obviously do. So this, to me, I mean, I'm probably not the right audience for this, and I'm not going to be using that. I don't use Snapchat, but it signals to me that, you know, bricks and mortars, they need to breathe. And a store, it's not enough for a store to just exist now. You know, it has to do something, whether it's digital or creative or shareable in this instance. And I said it a lot. People are probably bored of hearing me say it, but I just think when it comes to bricks and mortars and the future of retail, I just think generic isn't going to cut it. I think, you know, it's so much now about the experience, you know, whether it's a beauty playground or AR try-ons, you know, I think physical retail needs to be almost like a cultural theatre. And I just think, you know, what was the term that we used last week? It was that dead shelf. I can't remember what it's, but it goes back to that. God, I've really got Friday brain today. Dead shelf. But if your store isn't a story, it's just shelving. But yeah, I just think both Space NK and Bershka is a really nice example of how retail is evolving, and just they are setting the bar on just how to do it. And yeah, I mean, look, chatting about obviously Claire's earlier on, you know, sadly, nostalgia isn't enough to keep the lights on. You know, customers do expect more, and especially when we're looking to those future consumers, Gen Alpha, the bar's only going to get higher. So I thought that they've both done really well at that.
I love that. I think it's so funny. I always smile when I say they must have obviously read my book, because I talk about social validation. And so in my mind, what better way to create that social validation with your peer group by being able to Snapchat your look? And so I talk about that in the book, in the sense that that's really what people want. And that sort of existed in the Far East with the different ways that they've incorporated that into the shopping experience. But I think we were talking about Superdrug or Boots, which I love both of them. When I go in there to buy my vitamins, for example, in Boots, I'm not going to essentially validate that I'm buying my vitamins, but there aren't that many digital experiences unless you go to the and so Boots has built their beauty store in the Battersea Power Station.
Yeah.
They've got a beautiful beauty focused store there. But I think we're just gonna retailers really need to think everything that you said, Simone, is absolutely spot on. How do they maintain that relevance, and also how do they provide that social for their customers, their young customers, to sort of validate themselves with the brand? And I think that's really cool. Two more store openings to just quickly come on to. So Pop Mart, for all those, I think they've got avid followers because there's always queues round the block when their stores are opening. They're opening their largest store at Liverpool ONE, which I think speaks for itself. They're going from strength to strength, opening up and down the country. And then, that's it. So great to see. I think for me, having spoken to a property asset manager, how they were talking about how UK specifically retail is dead. I'm loving these new brands coming over and expanding and opening. And it seems like the Arndells, going for like all of the largest from what you're saying. The largest, Bershka. And the final one, if you're in the mood for a bit of a pop-up party, ticket numbers are limited, but there's a Pizzeria pop-up party, which sounds, what more could you want? Pizza and a bop at the same time, or a rave. Pizza and a rave.
It's my kind of evening.
There's carb up for the spin class. Anyway, if you're in central London, there's a call that's going on. And the tickets are on Eventbrite. If you're thinking, how do I get tickets on Eventbrite? You can get those tickets. So Simone, it's been a whirlwind. I want to keep us to our 15-minute time frame that we work to. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Around next week, I'm expecting you to say you're on holiday at some point.
Do you know what I am, which I'm very excited for?
Next week.
I'm working from Italy. I'll be working from Italy.
Are you gonna be able to join us, or should we postpone for a week?
I will be able to. I just might need to record a day early.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. Well, listen, we can work out the details on that. Thank you so much for joining me. Apologies for the bit of the chaos. And until next week, I'll look forward to speaking you to whereabouts in Italy.
I'm going to Sardinia.
Oh, lovely. Very nice.
Yeah. Very
beautiful Sardinia. We'll do Sardinia retail.
Love it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, Alex.
Bye.